Culers, estic preparat.
Okay guys, thank you for joining and welcome back to BARCA 360. Welcome back to the channel. So in this particular video, as you do always, looking at stories making headlines around the club. If this interests you, kindly subscribe. So we are looking at three different stories. The first one, Football Club Barcelona's president, Mr. Juan Laporta, according to reports from Luis Rojo, is considering terminating contract of out-of-favor players. Football Club Barcelona would want to 1. Balance our accounting books, 2. Get rid of players that are no more needed at the club, and 3. Bring in players that would augment the squad and then bring Barcelona back to where we belong, to Europe and then also in La Liga. And then because of that, the hierarchy of the club together with the head coach Xavi Hernandez are doing everything possible, everything in their capacity to bring everything back to normalcy, to put everything back on standard for the football club. And then one of the things that should be done is that, as I've said earlier on, some players that are not required by the club would be leaving. And then these players are players that are not having a part to play. They do not have part to play. They barely played in the just ended season. They should just leave. However, these players are saying that they have contract with the football club and then they would not want to leave the club. A typical example is Martin Bretet, who a few days back granted an interview with TV2 in his native Netherlands, in his native Denmark, and said that he does not consider leaving Barcelona. He has a contract with the club until 2024, so he plans to stay at the club until that period to see to the entirety of his contract. Not only him, Miralem Pjanic, also returning back from loan in Turkey, is also saying that he would not leave the club. He has a contract with the club until 2024. These two players specifically has been mentioned and then has been pointed that they do not want to leave the club. Other players like Ricky Puig, like Oscar Mingueza, like Clement Lenglet, Samuel Umtiti, Neto are players that have been French. They have been out of favor, and then the football club would want these players to leave the club. And then if any of these players do not want to leave the club, this is the only option left for the club. As reported by Luis Rojo, President Juan Laporta would consider terminating the contract of these out-of-favor players so as to be able to free spaces for the football club. That is coming in from the backdrop of the head coach Xavi Hernandez saying that these players, more than 10 players, he has actually told more than 10 players that they can leave the football club for free. There's a planned overhaul for the football club. That report is coming in from Moy Yorens and then also being reiterated by Samuel Marsden. These reporters are saying that Xavi Hernandez has communicated to as many as 10 players that they are no more needed at the club. It should be noted, and then it can be said that players like Samuel Umtiti, like Oscar Mingueza, like Clement Lenglet, Ricky Puig, a whole lot of players, Neto Moreira, Oscar Mingueza, as I've said earlier on, Miralem Pjanic, Martin Braithwaite, they are players that are out of favor at the club. And then according to these two reporters, Xavi has communicated to them that they can leave for free. If they do not listen to that, if they do not leave for free, then comes in the first story. The president of the football club, according to Luis Rojo, is considering terminating the contract of some of these players so as to be able to help the club balance our accounting books, bring us back on the standard wage bill, and then also put Barcelona on the pedestal to attract players that will help the club compete thoroughly for Europe next season and then also for the La Liga. Moving on to the last story in this particular video, it is about Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele would probably leave the football club. Everything has been done in the capacity of the club to help Dembele continue at the football club. But then the stumbling block has been his agent, Moussa Sissoko, demanding outrageous sums for Dembele and then also outrageous commissions for himself. And then because of that, Barcelona is standing on one side of the negotiating table against Moussa Sissoko, also standing on the other side of the negotiating table. And then reports have said that Paris Saint-Germain were in talks with Ousmane Dembele for his services. Paris Saint-Germain has had a verbal agreement with Moussa Sissoko for the transfer of Ousmane Dembele from Camp Nou to the Parc des Princes. However, a new sporting director has been appointed by Paris Saint-Germain in the person of Luis Campos, and then there is a disagreement. Here is the disagreement. president of Paris Saint-Germain, Nasser El Khelaifi, has already had an agreement with Moussa Sissoko for Ousmane Dembele. Here comes the new sporting director, Lucas Campos, who just does not want Ousmane Dembele at Parc des Princes. That report was coming in from Les Parisiens, and then now there's a disagreement. This report is coming in from Santi GFM. He's saying that there is a total disagreement between these two parties, between the president Nasser El Khelaifi and then also the new sporting director Luis Campos, as to what they need to do now. Do they go in for Dembele, who is wanted by the president, or they do not go in for Dembele? A decision being trumpeted by the new sporting director, Luis Campos. We are waiting to see what will happen with Ousmane Dembele. If indeed Paris Saint-Germain goes the way of new sporting director Luis Campos, will we see Dembele and his entourage reducing their demands to meet up with what Barcelona is offering them, or will we see Dembele moving to a different club altogether? Let's see your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your suggestions in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining. Kindly do stay safe. Until next time, it's a bye-bye.